Have you ever wondered why your manifestations miss the mark? What if magic could be as creative and playful as it is powerful? Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and I'm an ex-psych nurse turned spiritual guide and trailblazer who's here to support you with navigating through all the spiritual fluff that you can find online and really move it beyond that surface level healing so that you get to live a magical life. Today, we're going to be talking about sigils, sigil magic, and how you can go about creating a sigil or sigils that you can start to work with and really get to the heart of your desire, the heart of your intent, and thus see it manifest in physical form. So grab a paper, a pen, or pencil, and let's dive into this. If you're new here, super glad to have you. To those of you tuning in again, welcome, welcome. I've got some notes here because I really want to just keep track on how I'm sharing this knowledge with you. And this is going to be a bit of like a Sigil Magic 101. If you want to go deeper into this, then I'm going to invite you to hit the join button and become a part of the community membership, where I'm going to be sharing an advanced sigil course there, really to dive into a bit of the unspoken ways in which you can start to work with sigils. And that I think will be really great to support you. So you may want to hit that join button. And if not, let me know in the comments here, what is really standing out to you as you sit and take in this information. So symbols have been used since the beginning of time. Right? We know that humans love to draw, create, communicate through a symbol. And these concepts of symbols as sigils, as talismans, they've been used to mark things like amulets and different objects that the wearer could put on or have around their house. And it would offer a sense of empowerment, of protection, maybe boost their wealth, their health and well-being, and whatever else, love, all that good stuff. So there's something about sigils that has permeated across time and we continue to use even in our modern day. In our modern time, magical practitioners tend to use these sigils, tap into the power of symbols to really give like an oomph to what it is that they're intending to create. When we look at the etymology of the word sigil, it comes from the Latin term sigillum. This means a little sign. So I really like that because it's like this mark that it's a seal or some type of stamp, authenticating, whether it was back in that day, a paper, an intention written down. Really what we're doing here is we are creating a sigil to authenticate our intention, to really make it real, to really tune into what it is that we want. Now, a sigil can look as unique as there are magical practitioners and humans on this planet. As you can see, I have created this sigil. This is a very old creation out of a series that I was working on. And it looks maybe a little different than a sigil that you've possibly seen online. If you were to do a quick Google search, you would see so many different methods in which you can do this. So the main thing I want to say with that is there's no right or wrong. You get to listen to your intuition. And that's really what I'm about here on this channel is how does magic, how does spirituality work for you? Because it's your path, it's your road, it's your relationship with the divine. And ultimately, that's the only thing that matters. Now, I mentioned hosting an advanced series on this, another video where I'm going to go a bit deeper. So I'm really here wanting to just break down how you can start to go about making a sigil in 4 easy steps. It's going to be about defining your intention, getting to the heart of your intent, creating the sigil, and then finally charging the sigil. So to help us out, I'm actually going to open up this information on a whiteboard on Zoom so that you can see what exactly it is I am talking about. Okay, so here we have our blank canvas. So many great things can come from a blank piece of paper or in this case, a virtual Zoom board. We're going to start with that first step of defining your intention. And the first step to this is really tuning into what is your intent. And I want to encourage you here, as with any manifestation principles, is to come from a place of affirmation, positive thinking. What is it that you desire to see created in your world? We don't want to come to this from a place of lack or scarcity or negating the things that we don't want in our life. So an example would be, I will to be in a heart-filled relationship. That is a very positive, affirming statement. A negative kind of like, or negating statement would be, I don't want to be alone. That sort of energy. You can just hear the, I guess, even intensity of the words of, oh my God, there's something I don't want. I better make sure I don't have it. Well, we all know what happens there with law of attraction. So you're going to want to approach this from a positive, affirming standpoint so that you can draw that which you desire into your life, not drawing what you don't desire into your life. So to start us off, let us just write out an intention. You can have your paper here, otherwise follow along or use the same intent if you would so like to. This is going to be one to bring you into the state of connection with your divinity, with your high self, with that path of your highest calling. And that intent is going to be, I am connected to my higher self. Some people would say that it's important to have these written in large capital letters. I leave that to you. Depending on how I'm writing it or creating the sigil, I like to utilize different forms of the letters because we're going to be conjoining all those letters. Well, not all of them, but the ones that we kind of get in the next step. We're going to put that all into this drawing or sigil form of our intention. So you've written out your intent. If you need to pause the video and then come back, that's fine. But here is our affirming statement. I am connected to my higher self. Now, the next step is we are going to go through and get to the heart of the intent. And this means that by the end of this next step, we want to only have the kind of like unique consonants, the letters that really hold the energy of this statement. That is going to just contain everything, which then we are going to draw. So we do this by the first step of just simply crossing out all of the vowels. So let us do that. Make sure that I have a thick enough pen and color here. So I'm going to go through and I'm literally going to cross out all the vowels, A, E, I, O, U. Some people might say sometimes Y. I tend to leave the Y's in, but you do what you will. Okay. So we've gotten rid of all of those vowels and we are left with a series of consonants. The thing is though, is we have a couple of places where the consonants are repeated. So we have two N's, for instance, we have two C's. Where else would there be? We have two H's, two T's. So what we want to do at this point is we're going to cross out anything that's repeating. So we only have one of that consonant. So our M is good, our C is good, this N is good, but oh, there's the other N, I'm going to cross that out. Another C, I'm going to cross that out. We have a T, we have a D. Oh, there's another T, I'm going to cross that out. An M, a Y, an H, a G. We don't need this guy. This R we will keep, this S, this L, and this F. So as you can see, it's left us with a different set of letters now, And what I like to do personally is literally write out those, I'm going to move this so I can see. I like to write out those letters in another space. Just, DMYHGRSLF. So we have quite a few letters. Oh, do I have two M's here? I do. See, and this is why you write it out again, so that you can make sure that everything is written well. I think this is like the first time I've ever used Zoom whiteboards, you guys. I've seen people use it, but not myself personally. So let's just double check and make sure. We have M, C, N, T, D, Y, H, G, R, S, L, F. Looks like some type of like Scottish name or something. Dare I say, I'm part Scottish, so I feel like I can say that. Anyway, here is our heart of our intention. And I like looking at this after I've written it out because I feel as though I can really see the containment or the condensing of the original intent in these few letters. It's got this like symbolic patterning in it or something that like, oh, I know what that is because I'm seeing these letters, right? And this is important because, you know, I go into a bit more detail of this in the advanced section, but why and how it is that this magic works. And it's important that you recognize that magic goes beyond just, you know, flashy things and rituals and robes and incense. It's like we're going deeper into the energetics of what it is that we are hoping to experience and the connection to the energies that already exist, like the universal energies of this reality that help to move, you know, our intent forward to manifest that intention. And this includes even our subconscious mind. So after we have all of these letters, these things written down here, this is the fun third step. We get to actually create the sigil. So what I'm going to do is I am literally going to draw my sigil on a piece of paper. And as you go through drawing, what you're wanting to do is write or draw each letter in some form that it completes, and then you can knock it off your list. So I'm only going to draw the M once, and then I'm going to move on to, you know, the C, for instance. You don't really have to do it in this particular order, but maybe it can help you. Definitely you want to cross it off as you go through. So I'm going to just stop sharing my screen. I've written those letters on my page, and I'm going to just draw it here. Okay, so I did one example here. What I usually like to do when I'm creating a sigil for like real intents and purpose, I will draw maybe multiple ones and get a sense of which one feels the most real to me. But as you can see here, this is my sort of like final copy, and it's quite the little character. Gazing whatever you get from that. And you get a sense of how I've done that. Each letter is in there. Again, I don't just use capital letters. And honestly, I don't always write my letters like upside right or in the correct kind of like left to right direction. I might draw something upside down like I did with my H here. I'm going to just point it out. When you're doing this, you don't really want to know what each letter is as well. Like, you know, if you do, you do. I think that's partly why I enjoy doing it in the rune, kind of like runic language, is because they are just lines pretty much, and it mixes all together very well. This has definitely a more like cursive sort of view to it. But, you know, there's reasons for this of not knowing exactly what the sigil is. I go into a bit more later, but for now, I'm going to encircle this with a circle, the best that I can, a perfect circle. And that would be the sigil. So you've drawn your sigil out, you've come to a place. If you need to pause the video to continue working on this, then come back when you're ready for the next step. That is totally fine. Because the next step is one of the most important parts of actually working with sigil magic. And that, my friends, is to charge the sigil. If we just have this paper and our like the symbol on it, okay, great. You can sit, you could draw it on yourself. Sometimes I like to write the sigils on my body, but you want to take it deeper. This is the point of magic. I talked about shifting the energy. And so charging the sigil, however you want to do that. I like putting it on like some other paper. You can make it look as nice as you want. Get it ready for your altar, but I also have sigils that are literally just on Post-it notes. So whatever you want to do, but you're going to spend time, set apart like a sacred space, if it's at a particular time, whatever, you know, if it's a new moon ritual or full moon ritual or some other time, tuning into the intent that you were hoping to achieve or aiming to achieve. And you will literally visualize and meditate, charge the sigil by gazing upon it and putting like the energy of your intent behind that. I like to envision it almost brightening with a light. Depending on what my intent is, I will see myself, like visualize myself experiencing that and letting that then kind of like backfeed from the future into the sigil that I am gazing upon during that charging session. And then every time moving forward, this is kind of where it can, you know, hit or miss, different thoughts, points of view around the magical practice of this. I personally like to keep the sigil and spend time for several days, maybe 3 to 7 days, meditating, charging, letting it also kind of bathe on me, right? It's like a mirror, so to speak, and really just, you know, I guess really strengthen that intention. And then from there, you can do what you will with that intent. Some people will burn, some people will bury it, literally the sigil, burying the object that they have created or burning it and letting it kind of like go up to the universe. To me, fire kind of makes the most sense as long as you are doing it safely, please. Fire, candles, all that stuff can be so dangerous during ritual work. So use your smarts. But letting it go, you can do that at any point. You can do that right after you charge the sigil if you want. This is where you get to figure out what works best for you and to trust your intuition. Do what feels the best. But I mean, you got to eventually let go of that thing. I wouldn't really say that's that pretty. I definitely prefer my Norse writing, like runic writing. But, you know, it's like, are you holding on to this sigil and not wanting it to go? Like sometimes we can hold on to our intentions so strongly that it's hard for it to actually manifest. So with that being said, can you let go after you do this work? Don't be thinking about that sigil constantly or that intent. You want to get to the point where you just have the sigil and you can put the energy or feel the energy of whatever that is that it's intending for. But on your day-to-day walk, going to work, to school, whatever you're doing, it's just out of your mind, because otherwise we're constantly contemplating and wondering, worrying, oh, is that thing going to manifest? And that, I would say, is one of the most difficult parts of magic, of ritual, is letting go of the expectation. So it's up to you how you want to end it. These are just 4 very simple steps that I think can help you to start to work with sigils, explore the magic behind them, and see what else wants to be created in your life. I mentioned the advanced session. So if you want to go deeper into this topic, I share some other ways in which you can charge and other ways that you can deepen the chance of like outcome of sigils working based on different practices that, yeah, I invite you to check that out. Just simply hitting join, and I'll see you in the community membership. But other than that, let me know in the comments what you took away from this video, where it is that you're going to be working with next, and yeah, any other thoughts that you feel called to share with our community here. And until the next time, you guys, thanks so much for being here. Bye.